How far would you go to save face for your pride, and why? How far would you go to help a friend in need, and why? And what if they didn't want you to help? Those are pretty tough questions, and most people don't know the answers. But if we pay attention to how Pinkie Pie handled this situation during not looking for trouble, you might get an idea of where to start. For now, let's focus on Pinkie's perspective through this episode. Rutherford is a pretty classic case of destructive pride, acting like he's stronger than a problem that is clearly over his head, and then giving up after only one attempt to solve the problem himself. All to save face. We see this type of thing everywhere in life, from family and friends to employers and politicians. And Pinkie Pie gave Rutherford all the support that she could in trying to convince him to solve the problem. But this is where half of the episode begs the question of whether or not to help someone who's rejected your offer out of pride. If the situation gets bad enough, I fully endorse stepping in with the appropriate assistance, just like Pinkie did. Especially if the problem stretches beyond just one person like it was for the Yaks as a whole. An appropriate real-world parallel to this would be things like bringing over food, being an extra set of hands for a task, or donating a reasonable amount of cash. In more extreme cases involving abuse, you should gather as much evidence as possible, have a safe space ready, and make a call to authorities on behalf of your friend who can't or won't stand up for themselves. However, for everyone who merely lacks the ability to reach out, there will be one who will squander your efforts, another who won't reciprocate, another who will resent you for helping, and another still who will do any combination of these. Luckily, Prince Rutherford's only issue was that his pride would not allow him to reach out for help, and not any of the other possibilities that I just listed. The knowledge that you might waste your efforts might be discouraging, but this is where the choice of strength becomes extremely important. The knowledge that doing the right thing might backfire should never stop you. Even if it does go badly for you, you will learn who your true friends and family are, and your bonds will grow stronger. You will also learn who is unworthy of your trust and effort. Or you can choose to do nothing because it might backfire, or because it has backfired in the past. But you'll need to be at peace with those consequences too, as very few problems go away by ignoring them. Through your apathy, you may end up sharing a piece of the responsibility and causing some damage inadvertently. And how can you know who's worthy without trying? You may very well squander both theirs and your chances of growing stronger through these experiences. However, all of that is only half of the episode's lesson. Now, we need to address the Prince Rutherfords among us, to whom I say that if you're the type to refuse help to save face, especially at the cost of your own health or even worse, the health of those connected to you, you're an idiot. Again, how far are you willing to go for your pride? Although I have immense respect for strong and independent people, humbling yourself by acknowledging when you've reached your limitations and avoiding unnecessary danger is several times more honorable. Are you doing it to look tough? Did you forget that every facade will eventually break under the weight of its own maintenance? Whatever respect you could gain from looking tough will be lost with great interest when those that you were trying to impress see your dishonesty. Those who were looking up to you will lose their role model, and those who could have helped will no longer want to after you've pushed them away. Are you doing it to not worry or burden your family? That's admirable, I admit. But your loved ones want you to be happy and will be willing to help, more so than you may realize. But if you ignore a problem that can't be handled on your own, then it will fester into something that can potentially harm them as well. Now, they will be much more worried and less able to help. Or are you doing it to be independent? That's a noble motivation as well, but misguided if you don't take the proper help and learning before you're ready. Instead, use that motivation to make sure that you only take the help that you need while doing as much as you can on your own. Then, you'll be independent much sooner. Otherwise, you risk damaging yourself and becoming more dependent in other ways. If someone is offering to help you, it means that they care about you and want you to succeed. The fact that someone loves you so much is an honor in and of itself. Be grateful and cherish that. There is nothing to gain from squandering their kindness and generosity. Even if what they are offering is objectively not helpful, then explain why and suggest a better path that you can work on together. With all of that in mind, it should be clear that the only way to the prestige you desire is to reach out for help when you are in over your head. Or perhaps you believe that you are undeserving of sympathy. I can understand this mentality as well, but I also must inform you that it is objectively wrong. It is not for you to decide whether or not you are worth helping. That lies solely within the eyes of those who care about you. I saw a lot of myself in Prince Rutherford this episode. It took me several years, right up until a month before that this episode first aired, to realize that this mentality was wrong. All the while, I had been in over my head with employment and family troubles. Yet very few people even had a slight inkling of my situation. So how could I have ever solved it by myself? I also saw this in my poor parents, who suffered under my older brother's abuse while keeping it under wraps as much as possible, even from the rest of the family, thinking that they were protecting them. But the consequences reached far beyond just the three of them. The caveats that I will grant is that it is not reasonable to ask for unconditional support, and sometimes you need a very specific type of help in order to solve a problem. But even then, it's best to reach out to those around you. Even if they can't help you, they might know someone who can, and the chances may always be slim, but it is literally impossible if nobody knows what you need. It can be hard to ask for help, and we all need to be sympathetic to that, but we must also understand that many of life's problems require friendship to be fixed, and we can't let pride and fear stop us from doing the right thing. It's also very good to be able to understand when someone needs help and take action without them asking for it. Those who choose to have these abilities will always hold the highest honor in my eyes. When Pinky took action, she was able to strengthen her bond with Prince Rutherford and save an entire town. If we can do the right thing by reaching out to help, as well as allowing ourselves to receive help offered by others, then we can very easily do the same. And that's the moral of the story. If you have any comments, critiques, or suggestions, you can send me a message by following Brawny Buck on Tumblr or sending an email to bronydebates@gmail.com. This video was supported by all of my generous backers on Patreon, especially Princess Heather Blossom, Shady Oak Ministries, Sid McConroy, Auto Knight, Sodden Girder, Cinco, Janine Kellogg, Stephen A. Wilson, Kyle Christensen, DJ Skywalker, Emerald Spencer, and the Equestrian City Heroverse series. Be sure to check out their content links in the description. You can also see how you can join them in supporting my channel and what you would get in return. Have a great day, and I look forward to hearing from all of you soon.